What's up, YouTube? Many students ask me all the time what the process is like within an ad agency. Once they get into that whole real world thing, what's it like? How does an ad become an ad? In today's video, we will talk about the process a project goes through from initial briefing all the way until it gets in front of those customers' eyes. Let's go. To be honest, it's quite simple. It's a lot like school was. You're given an assignment, a deadline, and you just get started. But today, we'll go a little deeper than that. I'll also start off by saying that the difference between a photo shoot, a print ad, a billboard, a video spot are vastly different. But I'll be broad enough to where you get the gist of all those juicy agency steps. The first thing that goes down is the client comes to the account executive on your team and talks through their needs. The AE then communicates back and forth with the client to define that project even further. What are the costs and what's the timeline? Depending on the ask, the AE might have to consult with the creative director, the production team, the strategy team to put together a more accurate plan of attack. A schedule and an estimate is then created and it is sent to the client for final approval. Once that sucker is approved, the project manager sets everything up. The PM sets the proper folders on the server so that everything is organized. They figure out what creatives will be placed on the job, and they schedule a briefing. Also called a kickoff, a jump start, a get to work. It's pretty much called something different at every agency, but it's just basically a meeting to get started. Then comes the almighty, super important, don't sleep on it, creative brief. A creative brief spells out the assignment. The account team runs the brief through the creative and strategy department to see if there's anything that needs to be added or to check that all the information is supplied to make sure that the job can be done correctly. Once the creative brief is polished, it's then sent right out to the client to gain alignment and set project expectations. And then once that client okays that creative brief, it's time to get started. A meeting set up with the team, the art directors, the copywriters, the creative directors, the strategic planners, the account team, the project manager. The brief is distributed and then we all run through it together. What is being asked, when's it due, who's in charge of what, and all that good stuff. The creative team then speaks up with questions or forever holds their peace, and the meeting is adjourned. Now it's time to execute. Brainstorms happen, sidebars with the strategy team happen, the account and project management team checks in to make sure everything's running smoothly, writers find a cozy corner of the office to write lines, art directors plant themselves in front of their computers to design, internal reviews take place with creative leadership, edits are made, a presentation deck is put together, and the work is ready for the client. An in-person or phone call presentation is then set up with the client, and all that under a time crunch hard work is put to the test. The client loves absolutely everything and you're done. Okay, not usually. This brings me to a very probable phase, rounds and rounds of revisions. Whether it's conceptual changes or minor fixes to messaging or design, there are many back and forths with the client until everything is exactly to their liking. This is also the time to put on your strategic partner hat. If you happen to disagree with the client and really want to fight for the creative solve, this is the time to do so. But if you push back one time and the client is still set on their view, you need to respectfully move aside and gracefully make the changes. Once the work looks good, the art director then packages up the files and sends it to studio or production. The studio team then reviews your file against the specs and gets everything ready for that file to get printed for real. Strong QC measures get taken to make sure that nothing is misspelled, everything's aligned, and there's no funky color issues. They work with the production manager and outside vendors to make sure that everything is as advertised. Then the work is released to the client or media team for distribution. And you're done, right? There's a few more steps that go into it after the project has left the building. Invoices and billing is handled by finance. The creative and production team then properly organize the files on the server. And if there were hiccups on the project, we have a post-mortem meeting to discuss them and see how we can improve for next time. And that's how a project is born, nurtured, and then sent out into the world to fend for itself. I hope that all made sense. If it did, smash the like button. If it didn't, comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. I hope your day/night is going well, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.